In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? Our protagonist is a female character who is also a killer, challenging conventions of gender within film. Many of the most well-known killers in film are male, for example, Freddy Krueger, Hannibal Lecter, and Jack Torrance. Female killers in film are usually victims of abuse, rape being a common theme. This idea is evident in Monster, where the main character is a prostitute that goes on a killing spree after being raped by a client. Jennifer Spencer from Sudden Impact seeks revenge after being raped, and Carrie White from Carrie seeks revenge on bullies and her abusive mother. Our character, however, has not experienced any trauma. She kills purely because she enjoys it. We felt that this made her a more fearsome character. We further challenged conventions of gender by including a female victim, breaking away from the female kills male trend illustrated in the films previously stated. Our film is a psychological thriller. Through our research, we have discovered that the conventions of a psychological thriller include urban settings, tense sound, hidden identity, quick camera movements, a realistic storyline, black and white colouring, close-ups and shadows, and low-key lighting. We feel that our film opening conforms with all of these elements. We decided to use a dark room. The red safe lights also evoke a feeling of danger. We were heavily inspired by Seven, which also uses a dark room. The film Taxi Driver also uses red lighting. In these stills from Touch of Evil and Jacob's Ladder, both psychological thrillers, low-key lighting can be seen. Urban settings are usually used to make the character appear like a normal member of society, juxtaposing their sinister, in our case murderous side. We filmed in Starbucks, a well-known modern location. We decided early on in our filmmaking process that we wanted to place an emphasis on sound. In psychological thrillers, sound is used to create an eerie, tense atmosphere. To achieve this, we used tense music during our title sequence and a ticking noise from a timer later on that we hoped would unsettle our audience. We were inspired by the music used for the title sequence in Seven, which is extremely eerie and unsettling. Identity is a common theme for psychological thrillers. Our film deals with the hidden identity of the protagonist. She works as a photographer whilst also being a serial killer. Secret identities are common in superhero films such as The Dark Knight and Spider-Man, as well as in comedies such as Mrs. Doubtfire. Characters in psychological thrillers, however, sometimes have dissociative identity disorder, as was the case in the films Fight Club and Identity. Whilst our character doesn't suffer from this disorder, she does have very contrasting personalities. Quick camera movements are used to create a sense of urgency and danger. The rapid pace adds a feeling of chaos whilst also mimicking the violent, unhinged personality of our character. We used quick camera movements in our title sequence. Storylines are designed so that the audience will think that it could happen to them. We try to make our film as realistic as possible, using young, ordinary-looking actors and using well-known locations and brands to create a sense of realism. We used black and white colours more subtly. Instead of editing our film in iMovie to make the footage black and white, we included black and white props and costumes. Photographs that appear at the end of the opening are black and white. We also had a monochrome colour palette for clothing, for for both the killer and victim. Close-ups are used to emphasise emotions. We used many of our protagonists in order to make her appear slightly vulnerable. Extreme close-ups are also very intrusive and make the audience uncomfortable, adding to the tense atmosphere. Close-ups have been used in these psychological thrillers: Angel Heart, Black Swan, and Silence of the Lambs.